Next Level Mindset bringing you another powerful and positive video. I want to share with you 3 spiritual principles that have changed my life, that will change your life. Stay with me and watch this all the way through. I'm going to share my experience on that. You do not want to miss what's coming up. Let's get into it. If you're someone watching this right now, you're someone who's into the spiritual life, maybe like myself, practicing spirituality more than religion. Either way it go, I want to share these 3 spiritual principles that have changed my life that I know will change yours. This video is being brought to you by Amazon, but we'll talk more about them in a minute. So the first spiritual principle that has changed my life, that will change your life, is the spiritual principle of identity. You know, it took me a while to realize that we don't have to just identify with our physical. I know that we have a physical body and a spiritual divine body. So the next time you look in the mirror, look at yourself in the sense of you have a God self and then you have a physical self. That is what has helped me in my life, on my journey, practicing spiritual principles in my life. I began to realize that what I identify with has a great impact on my life. So ask yourself the next time you look at yourself in the mirror. When you look at yourself in the mirror, who do you see? What do you see? Do you see anything beyond the physical being? Because the spiritual principle of identity will change your life. That's the first one that has changed my life. The spiritual principle of identity. Who are we identifying with? That is going to have a major impact on our life. The second spiritual principle that has changed my life, that I know will change your life, is the principle of release. How many times do we hold on to things? You know, it took me a while to begin to release things, releasing those things that have held us down. I'm talking to somebody right now. You're still holding on to some pain that was in your life. You're still holding on to a relationship maybe that doesn't want you anymore. You're still holding on to a false belief that doesn't line up with a spiritual fact. So what has helped me in my life, in my journey, is to have the ability to release things. I have an affirmation that I like. It says, I have released the need for anyone to do anything different or to be different than they are. I have given others their freedom, and in doing so, I am free as well. So think about that spiritual principle of release. How can we let go of those things that no longer serve our highest good? Now, before I get to number 3, gotta show some love for all my subscribers, all my family. You've been with me. Thank you so much for being a part of my family. And if you haven't subscribed, great music, entertainment, inspiration, motivation, hit the subscribe button and join the family. That third spiritual principle that will change your life, the spiritual principle of evolution. Everything in life is evolving. Technology is evolving. Even in this time of this recording, different vaccines coming out, evolving. You may be going through something right now, and even your things that you believe right now, they're going to eventually evolve to another level. Think about that in your life. The things that you believe right now, the concept that you hold is true, they are going to eventually evolve to another level. That is the third spiritual principle that has changed my life, that I know will change your life. That is the spiritual principle of evolution. Everything is evolving to the next level. And if you're part of the family, you already know we want to go to that next level and do higher things. Now, before I give you some points, I got some power bonus points that I want to share with you. But before I do that, if you already are enjoying this, hit that like button. That'll send an algorithm signal. It lets others know this video, this video, it'll let them know it's worth watching if you hit that like button for me. So now the first extra bonus point that I want to share with you, it really relates to that first spiritual principle. In fact, I'll give you the affirmation for it. It says, I am not the false person I've always pretended or saw myself to be. My true identity is spiritual, infinite, unlimited, and eternal truth, which is immortal. I am that I am, and all is well. And if you could use that, use that. If not, lose that. But that's what works for me, to make that connection, to know that my true identity is in fact what we call God. And the second spiritual principle, as a bonus point, this is just some extra bonus on top of what I've talked about. The second extra power point that I want to share with you is be willing to let go of those things that we no longer know as truth. There are certain things, even in my life, that I find myself knowing, and I talk about a lot of them in my book. I'm not going to read this time. I usually read from my book. I'm not going to read this time, but there's a lot in my book, Mystic Secrets of the Bible, that'll talk about spiritual principles, holding on to those beliefs that no longer serve us, which reminds me of our sponsor, Amazon. They actually host my ebooks, Mystic Secrets of the Bible. They host my other one, Divorced and Still Destined for Greatness. So huge shout out to Amazon. Check out the links in the description for those books. And I talk about that. I go deep into how our spiritual life, we we can really get to the point where we let go of those beliefs that no longer line up with the spiritual facts that has really made a difference in my life. To be able to let go of those beliefs that no longer serve. As a matter of fact, one of them is when I talked about Jesus. I used to think that only Jesus had the identity with God. Then I began to look deeper, and even Jesus said, I have called you gods and goddesses. If you want to really break it all down, gods and goddesses. So think about your life. What spiritual principle, what belief can you release and let go of? And many of us, we're getting into a place where we're beginning to practice spirituality more than religion. I'm talking to some of you right now, and part of my purpose for this journey on my YouTube journey is to be a bridge between those religious traditions that we've always had to that spiritual freedom that we know we are destined to be in this life. And so some of you right now, you're watching this and you're knowing that spirituality is stronger in your life. There's another spiritual principle that I haven't even mentioned, the spiritual principle of audacity, the spiritual principle of boldness, the spiritual principle of whateverness, and it is what it isness. I want to share this video with you right here. Live your life, how to live your life with no regret. Practice these spiritual principles. Live your life without regret. I know that it will bless your life. Check out that video or the other one on the screen. Either way, you'll be empowered and inspired to do great things. So watch that video. See me over there. Stay blessed. Stay positive. I'll see you on the next level. Peace.